Welcome to the Z Hut. Today we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to talk about mouse traps. Now, what this little tutorial is going to be about is the best way to bait these to get the mouse almost every time. And the way I do it, I get them 99% of the time. But the most common thing people do, they get their mouse trap, they get their jar of peanut butter. Take some peanut butter, smear it on here, set the trap, put it where you want it, leave it, come back a day or two and look, and the trap is as clean as when you took it out of the package. The mouse just sat there and licked it clean. Well, that's the problem with peanut butter. It does attract them, they go after it, and I've seen other people use, Velveeta cheese. It comes in a glass jar and you can smear it. It's about the thickness of peanut butter. I've seen people use that too, and the same thing will happen. You'll get a mouse about 25, maybe 30% of the time using peanut butter or cheese. Well, here's a little trick that I picked up a couple years ago. I get the mouse over 90% of the time. Very rare do I find the trap empty once it's sprung. So what you're going to need is some dog food or cat food. And if you don't have any dog food or cat food, you can ask a friend that has a pet and see if you can get some from them. Otherwise, worst comes to worst, dried beans, dried corn. I even imagine cracker might work. But what you do is you get your hot glue gun, take one little piece of your cat food or dog food, put some hot glue on the trap, stick the piece on, hold down on it for a moment or two and make sure it glues on. You get those little hairs of glue, you can just pull them off. And now what this does is when the mouse comes up, when you have peanut butter or cheese on it, they can sit there and just gently lick it, and it's not enough to set this off. Now with the dog food or cat food or the corn or the bean, what happens is they got to start gnawing on it. But a lot of times they'll just grab it and, try to run off with it, bring it back home to store it up for later. So when you spring your trap and they come up and they grab it, it's going to set it off every time. And like I said, it's only about less than 5% of the time the trap is sprung and I have nothing. It's almost every time. And I use dog food normally. I'm not using traps as often anymore because I did get a couple of kittens and they've been terrorizing the mouse population around here pretty good. And I also didn't want the cats licking the trap trying to get the food off it and get their tongue stuck in there. I actually about 2 years ago had a dog that licked a mouse trap that I had that she got to it and licked it, and I had to take the trap off her tongue. She wasn't too happy, but the only positive thing was she never tried licking a mouse trap again. Well, I hope this little trick is useful to you. Like I said, don't use peanut butter or cheese. You're not going to get the mice as often. And this will also work on a rat trap. If you got rats and you got, those traps are way bigger, you can use that and that'll work too. Well, we'll wrap this tutorial up then, and I'd like to thank you for joining us here at the Z Hut, and I hope to see you again in a future episode.